Good afternoon. Today at this station we're going to practice scoring and slipping, or sometimes called cross-hatching with our clay. And the reason this is so important is this is the way that we attach different parts of our clay monster to each other, such as the eyes, a tail, a leg, an arm. Everything that we attach, we will be cross-hatching and or using the technique of score and slip. And the way that this works is I have here a foot that I've made that I want for my monster. And what I want to add to this foot is a leg. Makes sense? So I'm going to cut, and this is just for practice, a rough piece of clay that I would use as my leg. But I'm going to roll it using our coiling method here to get a nice round leg. And you want to be sure when you're doing things like legs that you don't make them too long, because you don't want your clay to be top heavy. Or if you do make them long, it needs to be something little at the top. Alright, so now I have a coiled shape for a leg, nice and wide, and a foot that I want to attach. So to use the process of scoring and slipping, what you want to do is and this is where on my foot I want to attach my leg. You're going to start by just digging in, and this is why it's sometimes called cross-hatching, is you make hatch marks with your paper clip tool, and then in one direction, and then going in the other direction, making more hatch marks. Now, you notice, and I'll zoom this in, it sort of looks like a checkerboard, but it doesn't have to look like a checkerboard. The point is not to make it look neat, but to kind of rough and mess up the surface. The grooves that we create are what's going to cause suction paired with the water for when we're attaching our two pieces. So I've scored where I'm going to attach the leg, and now I have to score the leg as well. We have to score both places. And again, just roughing up the surface with grooves going one way, and then some groove lines going another. And then again, as you see, it doesn't really look like anything other than roughed up clay. Now the slip part comes when we just putting one finger in your water. You never want too much water, just enough to make your finger a little bit wet. And I'm going to hold this up so you can see it a little bit closer. I'm going to just pat on where I cross-hatched. Just pat with the water, and same thing here. We never want to rub the water on, because and I'll show you real quick the wrong way, if you rub the water on, then you're kind of rubbing out all the grooves that you just made on your clay. So it's the exact opposite of what we want to do. So I'm going to go back and re-rough up my surface here. Pat the water on the right way, and you might see some little air bubbles in your water, and that's fine too. So now I have to take the two parts and basically push them together. Now when you're pushing it on, you do want to push with a little bit of force. You'll see the water start to squirt out just a little bit around the edges, and that's good. You might see some bubbling of the water. That's fine too. You want that to happen. That means you have it on there nice and good. All right, now the other thing is anywhere where you have extra cross-hatching marks, you can just go ahead, now especially because your fingers are a little wet, and smooth those out. Now we're not done though. The leg is on there pretty good, but see how around here has that seam? That we want to kind of get rid of. And the technique we use to get rid of that is called welding. Welding the seam. So to support my leg, I'm going to put it in my hand like this, and what I'm going to do is go around and just pull a little bit of that clay from the leg onto the foot. All right, that way I'm sort of smoothing out and getting rid of that seam. You'll see on this side I'm going to go the opposite way, and I'm going to pull the clay up from the foot and really attach those two pieces together. And making sure that I go all the way around as I do this. Okay, now that leg is really attached to the foot. And you can always go around and smooth it out your leg. So while you're here today, I just want you to practice scoring and slipping to attach pieces of clay. Now you do not, actually don't want you to make a whole foot and a whole leg. Just taking two pieces like I would here and practice the scoring on either side, the slip, which is tapping the water on where you scored, and putting the two pieces together. Okay, it does not have to look like anything. We only have a few minutes at each station to practice these things. So make sure you get, I would say, two different things minimum attached. Welding, this time I'm welding just with my fingers, not with the knife, which you can do too. And two pieces have attached. They're not coming apart unless I pull them apart. Okay? So that's what you're practicing here today.